All right, y'all. So welcome back to d.visionz. We got Alex P here with me today. So under the bright lights, what's good, Alex? How you doing, man?
Good, and you?
Good. All right. So I'm excited to have you here today.
I've been waiting.
Yeah, on this podcast, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be real, and we're gonna talk about. Typically, every time we get together, you always got questions that that you always asking me. And as we all know, I talk your ear off. Go a long way. But I mean, one thing I appreciate from you is that you're always, you always got a list of questions for me. But not only just that, you always are giving me the time. You give me the time to actually speak to you. As you are young, typically when you're speaking to somebody young, they want to hear that. They want to hear an answer, but they don't want to take the time to hear out, what a person is trying to say. So that's definitely one thing I want to tell you. That I definitely appreciate when you are asking me, your questions, and I go on and I go from one thing to another thing to another thing. I mean, you just sit there and you soak it all in, and I can tell that you're taking mental notes. So I definitely appreciate you on that. So definitely want to get you here on this podcast today, man. It's gonna be excited. Just to kind of catch up with you and see what's new. I haven't seen you. Man, I haven't seen you about a month now. No, that's a lie. We just went over to the house. When was that? Father's Day?
Oh yeah, you're right.
It was Father's Day, right?
But we haven't been here.
Yeah. Well, here, and then me and you haven't really had a conversation.
Yeah.
I think everything else that's been kind of going on around us, we didn't really hold a conversation, or I really wasn't talking much, or whatever the case may have been.
Yeah.
But so. Now it's good to have you back in front of me, man.
Yeah.
So welcome on board. Appreciate you coming to d.visionz, podcast. Yeah. And so hopefully this is not the last time I could have you here. And hopefully whatever gets said today could always be inspirational, to even people of your age as well, and just across the board. So I got no clue on really what topic you bringing me today. So what you got for me, man?
So the topic right now I want to talk about is relationship. Like, what do you look for, but not what is for me it's loyalty. That's what I prefer. That's my main thing in a relationship for it to work out, because my age, I'm not gonna find the perfect girl, but yeah, but what do you look for?
Got it.
Because our age is different.
Yeah.
But
so I would definitely say, just this quick disclaimer real quick. Hey, y'all, look, I know all these videos y'all watching, you seeing me scratch myself. And just real quick, I'm going to answer that question because that's a great question. But I just do got to give y'all the disclaimer, because I went back and I was watching the video and I'm like, damn, I'm scratching myself, and then Mara was scratching herself. Y'all, man, it's just hot. It's hot up. Well, it's not hot in the house, but it's hot up here in the high desert. And it's a lot of flies, stuff flying around. I just got, actually, before the video, me and Alex just put some teamwork in. We just killed the fly together, because that thing was killing me. It's like they're flying around. And these flies up here are humongous, and they just be flying around super quick. And so, y'all, I'm gonna use Raid, man. Look, I got a chemical in here. I just keep this with me, and as soon as I see it fly, I just got it. I bought these fly traps, put them outside. They working, but once again, I mean, they're coming. Today we had my daughter's half birthday that Mara wanted to do. So just close family came over, and immediate family, her uncle, her auntie, and her grandma, and her grandma on their side, and then my grandfather. For those of you guys who don't know, like I said, this is Alex P. So this is Mara's P. Younger brother. So. Kind of go from there. But I just have to throw that in there, because even right now, it's just a habit. I'm scratching myself. Once I see one bug, it's just, whether it's a bug, a fly, anything, I'm itching off back. And then last week, I was doing my yard outside, and I didn't have on the proper gear, and my allergies are severe. So basically, I think something something got me that I wasn't used to, and it just kind of got me itching everywhere. But back to it. So back to your question, Alex, where you said, what do I prefer in a girl? You prefer loyalty. For me, when it comes to a girl, I mean, loyalty is always one, you know. But there's just several things that, you know, we're looking for. You know, I would get. How can I say this?
Yeah, I already know some of like what you don't like because I heard it like when we were talking.
Oh yeah. So I'll give you definitely, you know, what I don't like after, but I'm gonna focus on, you know, what I'm looking for in a female. You know, is that, I mean, of course, you know, patience. You know, they gotta have patience. You know, because when I look for, I mean, and I'm not looking for a female. Yeah. Clearly, I'm with his sister, but basically, I kind of look for the opposite of me, a offset. You know, and the reason why is to offset the relationship. Sometimes, you know, if you have like two, you know, it's good to have two great outgoing people. But at the same token, you want something that's going to offset, you know, your attitude or how you are. And I know when a lot of people that didn't really know me and Mara just yet, but kind of knew me, but knew Mara, but didn't know of us together. When people found out, you know, I had a few different people, you know, tell me like, nah, DeMario, like, you know, basically like she was too soft for me, right? Because I'm more harder, and not harder as far as street hard, just like attitude wise, you know, I'm a straightforward person, you know. Mara, you know, wasn't necessarily a straightforward person. Now she's, I mean, 4 years later, this girl got the master's, the PhD of being with D. Lundy. So, you know, this girl is something different now. Man, boy, oh boy, tell me about it. But no, I mean, you know, like I said, for me, I look for a person with patience because I didn't always have patience, and I'm still working on it now to this day. But I look for a person that has patience and that's understanding, that's kind. Once again, loyalty. That's just something that, you know, I don't deal with. But at the same time, I'm not a person that's like, I'm not a jealous person. Yeah. You know, I know what I got. You know, it's not, and I mean, I think that's just when you choosing a female, that's what you choosing. You choosing, once again, like that's why I think you're so big on loyalty, because it's like at the end of the day, you don't want to be sitting out there looking stupid, because that's just big. And then, you know, in today's world, it's kind of a lot of that goes around where, you know, it's you dealing with one female, but then the other homie dealing with her too, you know, or an enemy dealing with her as well, or just somebody that, just an acquaintance or somebody you just don't even know is dealing with them as well, you know, or they sitting there, you know, telling you one thing and, you know, telling a whole nother person a whole nother thing, you know. So basically, you know, I definitely look for, you know, all those different types of qualities and traits within a female. But like I said, just a female that can offset me and just make me a better human being. So also with that being said, like personally me, like I wasn't interested in going back to school. Yeah. You know, just different things that happened. I was a creative person because, you know, I used to do film. But once again, my patience for those kind of things were not there. And I mean, they're still not even now to this day. But just kind of in the relationship that I'm in right now, just kind of seeing her, you know, go through, you know, schooling, you know, the way that she did, and it just happened so quick. You know, it was like 2.5, 3 years of just us being together. Here she was graduating. You know, and I just seen how semesters were getting complete, and I was seeing how she was handling, you know, her schoolwork and, you know, just a relationship, you know.
Did that change your perspective on school?
Oh, most definitely. She changed my perspective on school. I mean, I hated school. Yeah. You know, I hated school. It wasn't in my vision. It was not in my vision to go to school. Yeah. You know, I was like, this not for me, I don't want to do it. And just kind of seeing her do it, it just opened up my mind and be like, you know what, I can do this. You know, and I'm still, you know, as, you know, I was studying kinesiology, but just through it all, she's even right now, even though she's not at school no more, like I know that during that time, you know, when I was doing school, that was when I was on my game. You know, I was on my top notch. I was constantly reading. I was a person who did not love to read, you know, and I can gladly admit, I mean, I told you about like last month or about a month and a half now, you know, I finished the book in 5 days, and that's just not me. Like, you know, it wasn't me. So basically that's what I'm saying. Just somebody that could offset you to also get you to see a different perspective. on a different point of view of life. You know, versus the person that, you know, you grew up in the same trenches, the same hood, or, you know, the same town, the same city, you know, with. It's like, nah, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, we grew up in the same city, but we grew up under two different conditions. You know, where you guys grew up in, you know, you guys grew up with both parents in the household, while I didn't. Yeah. So there's just different things. So it's like how we're able to piggyback off of each other when it comes to certain things that happens to our relationship. We're able to kind of piggyback off of that, you know, and just kind of, and that helps us, and I know it's gonna help our daughter for sure, just because that's how we know how to just, you know, navigate through our relationship. And at the end of the day, I mean, like I mentioned before, we were kind of just talking in the car earlier, but I mean, a lot of it also, you know, a lot of it is that you necessarily don't really know what you're looking for, you know, in your first relationship. Yeah. You know, your first relationship is more, I mean, you probably younger, you know, you do it, you did it. And that's what I was saying. It's like, you know, without my first relationship, would I have been able to get this far in this relationship? Yeah, you know, and like I highly doubt it. You know, I don't think it's possible, just because, you know, you didn't go through it. You didn't understand. You know, it's like, okay, like, you know, it was like you never were able to practice. And I'm not saying that the first relationship was practice, but, you know, once again, you learn from, you know, mistakes or, you know, decisions you make, you learn from it all. And so that was like a big thing. So it's just definitely, you know, across the board, you can have these qualities, you can have these traits, you can have, you know, the what to do and what not to do that you're looking for, you know, but at the end of the day, you're going to find, you know, through that every female is different. Yeah. You know, every female is different, every male is different, just depending on, you know, what the person is looking for. And at the end of the day, you kind of have to, you're not going to get it's not all going to be a beautiful song. Yeah. You know, so you got to kind of be willing to pick and choose. It's not a love story. Yeah, you know, you're going to have to pick and choose, you know, okay, you got this, you know, but she also come with that. Mm-hmm. You know,
like everybody's like, no one's perfect.
Yeah, nobody's perfect. So, you know, it definitely, but I mean, you know, gotta have some prettiness to them. Like, I don't really look for, like, at the end of the day, as I'm a male, and it's just like, you know, meeting you when you were young. I remember one thing about you is like always big booty Latinas, you know. Yeah. Like, that was your whole gig, you know. But I already know that that's also like a joke as well, you know. Just because kind of knowing you, I think it's kind of like similar. You know, we got two different perspectives, but I can see a lot of similarities. Which one of them is like, I mean, man, you know, at the end of the day, I mean, what male doesn't love, you know, big boobs and big, you know, big booty, you know, overall at the end of the day. And I just know, I remember like being in school growing up, you know, everybody, you know, thought, you know, the girls that I would be with, you know, is gonna be that, you know, big booty, big titty, you know, that's all I was about, you know, that's, man, she got big booty, oh man, she got big breasts, you know, whatever. But I knew, you know, I mean, in my relationships, you know, and what I call relationships, you know, real relationships is relationships you have in after high school. Yeah. You know, so like right now, this is your time to practice because you still in high school. Mm-hmm. It's like, you call it practice. It can't get serious. Like my brother, he married his high school sweetheart. You know, once again, he was in the 12, she was in the 11. So he was kind of already getting to that stage where he was kind of, you know, already on his own. Mm-hmm. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's like, it's like I count relationships as when you're grown, you're on your own, you can make your own decisions, and you ain't gotta ask mom and dad for money, or you know, you ain't, you know, y'all not asking each other, you know, hey, can you get out the house tonight, or whatever the case may be. You know, on an everyday basis, you gonna be with this girl, she gonna be with you, you know, etc. That's what I call a relationship, you know, not the high school. And now, keep in mind, I mean, I get it. There are some high school relationships that are like that. You know, parents don't really care. You know, they able to, you know, males, you know, females are able to just be out there. Mm-hmm. Parents, you know, just, you know, whatever, probably working or at home, or, you know, probably coupled up with, you know, with their boyfriend or girlfriend. So I get that. But it's just more so when you're older, you know, when you have responsibilities, when you have a job, you know, and you're on that whole thing about, you know, taking her out, you know, taking him out, you know, whatever, X, Y, and Z. And so that's what I consider to be a relationship. So right now this is the time where you're gonna, learn to see what do you like in a female, what don't you like in a female, what are you willing to put up with, what aren't you willing to put up with, because like once again, I'm not the best package. Man, look, I am the best package. Hold on. That when I said I'm not the best package, I'm not saying that in a sense like not on no cocky, but I know that I'm the best package, just hands down, everything that I offer across the board, and that I give, and not even just offer, it's I give, it's like your sister knows, and I'm not even talking about from a sexual standpoint, I'm talking about from emotionally, spiritually, physically, mentally, just everything, what I can offer across the board, just advice, and understanding sometimes. Am I perfect? No, not at all. We have a lot of growing to still do in our relationship, and as we've been able to get this far, it's some good things there. So, basically, just to kind of let me see where I was. My bad, I lost my train of thought.
That's cool. But I have another question.
Yeah.
So what should people men look for in a girl? Realistically.
I say realistically,
not the butt or the boobs.
Oh yeah, okay, that's what I was talking about. Okay, that's what I was getting to. So good question. I mean, honestly, the butt and the boobs is an outside appearance.
Yeah.
It's that. I mean, as we see it in today's world, what's going on right now, I mean, the question is it even real? You know what I'm saying? I'm more curious. I want to know, is the heart real? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm more so worried about. Is the heart real? Because at the end of the day, I mean, if that's all, you attracted to, I mean, how you going to be attracted to her as you guys grow old? Eventually all of that's going to go away.
Yeah.
She going to get that square, that strawberry booty, where it just sink down in the middle and then just I cupped on the top. Yeah. She gonna get that strawberry booty. Mm-hmm. And I mean, at the end of the day, it's just you ain't gonna like that. Mm-hmm. So it's just at the end of the day, fall in love with her. Fall in love with her attitude, her personality. That was what actually got me, in my relationship, it was the personality, how outgoing she was, how she sounded, smart.
Yeah.
She
was in these other girls.
Yep, exactly. When words came out of her mouth, you knew, to be honest, you didn't know this, but when I first met her, I thought the first time, because I seen y'all dad and I thought he had a suit on. So I'm thinking, she classy. Mm. I'm a classic man. But that's not why, I just got with her or whatever. But I'm thinking she come from a more of a classic background. Mm. Dad is on some broker or lawyer type, something. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I knew because, her work ethic was completely different. It wasn't you won't get, somebody coming in off of a parent that has a job like that with a work ethic that she had. Mm-hmm. But just across the board, I think it's just very important that you don't fall in love with the outside appearance because, that outside appearance can always go away. Hold on.
But yeah, for me personally, I don't really look at girls their butt or anything. I really like their faces. That's why personality and faces.
Yeah.
That's why my main thing. I don't really care about the rest, but yeah, that's why I personally go for. But I don't know, sometimes I don't know. But I feel now, but I'm not saying every girl, but most girls want more. They want a man who making 6 figures, unrealistic things.
So yeah, my bad, and my bad. I had to it was emergency real quick with the phone. But So yeah, I mean that's literally those are that we're you know when I like to result always back to Think Like a Man. You know, that was written by Steve Harvey. Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man. And you know the movie. I mean, I've watched that movie just going to sleep just so many different times. And when I first seen it, it was a movie that became one of my favorite movies, just because I understood what he was talking about.
Yeah.
You know, but at the same time, you know, when you go back to Gabrielle Union, you know, and her and who she was, you know, sorry, not Gabrielle Union. It was the it was the girl that was with Michael Ealy, with the green eyes, and she, you know, she wanted a man, you know, that makes six figures, and he was the opposite. He was still trying to find his career, but at the end of the day, he had passion and love her. You know, and I think that's, you know, I feel like social media has done this, you know, to the females.
Yeah.
Where it's made females thinking like, you know, the only great men out there are men that's with six figures. You know, and at the end of the day, I mean, speaking, you know, from, you know, myself, you know, overall, at the end of the day, I personally believe that even a broke man got something more to offer than a man with six figures. You know, because I've been both before.
Yeah.
I've been broke and I've been a man with six figures. You know, so it's literally like, at the end of the day, I mean, the money don't make you. Money doesn't make who you are. It just gives you. I mean, this one I ain't gonna take it. I read in the book, but it just gives you options. Money just spreads across options. You know, money, people out there buying cars, jewelry, watches, phones. You know, whatever. It just gives you options. Like I said, I've mentioned to you several times. I didn't buy the house. Could have set up in an apartment and just bought whatever the hell I want to buy. You know, but at the end of the day, you know, what is that? What that's just. Okay, you can purchase that, you can buy that, you wasting money, you're not actually, you know, setting yourself up for success. Like I said, at the end of the day, you know, if you're in an apartment, and, you know, you lose your job, that's it, it's game over. How you gonna pay it? Where you gonna go next? But if you're in a house, you know, yeah, I mean, for all my financial people out there, you know, don't try to, you know, whatever, but more so realistically, if you're in a house and you lose your job, you can sell your house.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, boom, like my house is already up in equity. So it's like, boom, if I lose my job today, tomorrow, I can sell it, you know, and basically be right back to where I was, which wasn't bad. There's nothing really wrong with it at the end of the day. You know, at the end of the day, we got good family support. You know, I mean, we can lose everything right now. And I know, you know, for a fact, you know, your moms, your dad would take us in. You know, no heartbeat. I mean, they probably prefer that anyways. You know, being able to be around, see their granddaughter grow up day by day, every single day. You know, and just, you know, bring in more, you know, financial help into the household as well. But just overall, it's what social media has done to a lot of our females, where it has given them this mindset that they think like that's what a man is. Yeah. And a man should not and ever be classified by how much money he brings in. Yes, does a man look good with a job? Yes, does a man look good with money in his pocket? My grandfather has always told me, always installed in me, a man should never walk around without money in his pocket. And I understand that, but that don't mean that you gotta be rich. That don't mean you gotta, you know, make six-figure salary, you know, or six-figure income. You know, that don't mean that you have to have, you know, all this money to be able to pay for her nails and all of this and that. Like, I still feel like at the end of the day, there's stages in these relationships where females have taken that whole perspective out, where it's like, when you talk about now, I'm like, my relationship now, I pay for everything, you know, solely. Like, I'm the sole provider, you know. But if you go back, you know, if you just go back to when I wasn't, you know, making the money that I was making, you know, and you know, I was just upcoming, you know, in my career, but I was 19, 20, you know, whatever. It wasn't like that. You know, it was, hey, you know, I need you to be paying, you know, half of that. Or I need you to be going, you know, half of this. And it's why? Because you're trying to work up to that level. Yeah. You know, but at the end of the day, these females, you know, a lot of these females are feeling entitled that, well, I need a man that's going to take care of me. And it's like, okay. And so, you know, just believe that, once again, that man, you know, he's not in it for your heart. Yeah. You know, because I just solely don't believe that any man is out there that's just willing to take care of a female that has that kind of mentality. Is in it, you know, in it for the long run. You know, and that's why we keep having, you know, all of these divorces, you know, all of these, you know, kids out here with, you know, with not a 2-parent household. It's just because I feel like it's the social media, you know, what they're putting, you know, as the example of how, you know, relationships should be. And it's just like, nah, like you lost. Like there's just no way that a relationship should even be thought of to go that way or be pursued that way. And like I said, act like a lady, think like a man. I mean, you know, Steve Harvey, just think like a man. This movie, I mean, he gave you all these different, you know, characters and was showing you that, you know, for the most part, like, you know, there was only, and the one, you know, at the end of the day, who was, you know, who stood on, you know, his 10 toes basically was, you know, was Michael Ealy, you know, as a sense of he went ahead, he moved forward, you know, she found her a 6-figure man, but he still continued his process and his dream of what he wanted to do, you know, while she went thinking that being with that 6-figure man was going to change her life. And all it did was she realized that when she got home, all he wanted to do was talk about his job. He never took the time to hear her out. Versus a man who had nothing, but he had a strong work ethic. He had a vision. He had something in mind. He had goals that he wanted to achieve. You know, once she finally realized that, it's like, damn, I want him back. That's who I want to be with. Because at the end of the day, the money don't make you be a better man. The money don't make you be a stronger man. Actually, the money can make you be a weaker man. You know, and so it's like, I just feel like females really need to think about that, you know, when they're looking, you know, when, you know, trying to set, you know, a tone or whatever, or an expectation on a man. It's like the financials should never really be the problem. You know, what you're looking for is, does he have a vision? Does he have a goal? That's what, you know, if that's what I look for. We kind of just going back to that first question, you know, I look for that, you know, okay, is the girl that I'm dealing with, what is her vision? What is her goal? Do they align? Do they align with what I'm trying to do in my life? You know, or are they going to class? So what I mean is, I'm trying to go to school and be a part-time stripper, you know, just so I can make ends meet. All right, great. Just not the relationship for me. We can hit it. You want to do a one-night stand? That's fine. That ain't no problem. You know, whatever. Back in the day, I mean, that's what you want to do. That's fine. But as far as what is looking for to grow a relationship, to have a daughter with, to build a home with, to, you know, build this life with, this career, and continue to keep growing and moving my career forward, I'm looking for is a person who has vision, who has something that's aligned, that is trying to actually do something in their life, you know, versus, you know, just kind of just waiting to see what move I'm gonna make next. That ain't gonna help me. That ain't gonna get me nowhere. You know, at the end of the day, like right now, it's me being a sole provider, but I still want to know and need to know at the end of the day that the woman that I'm with, if I lose it all today, can she take over? You know what I'm saying? Like the way I've always told her, it's like, I need you to prepare your life as if I'm going tomorrow, as if I'm not waking up the next morning. Because right now it's here right now, and once again, that's the same thing. These females out here that's just looking for that one man to take care of their needs. Okay, but what about when he go? What about all the stress and everything that he going through every time he walk out of them doors? What about when he not there no more? What about when I come home? What's your plan? What you gonna do? So I look for a very strong, independent woman, you know, that can go get it on her own as well. And that's what I seen out of, you know, who I'm with right now, which is your sister. That's what I seen as far as when it came to, you know, seeing how she was handling school and seeing how she was wanting to go to work. Because at the end of the day, I seen her bank account. I knew she didn't need to go to work during that time, that moment. That was just like extra butter for her. You know what I'm saying? She was just basically, she already had butter on her toast, but she was basically just putting more butter on the toast. Yeah. You know, so when I seen that, it just made her more attractive to me. Just actually knowing her. Like, I was already attracted at first, but then just kind of seeing that made me even more attractive, 10 times more attractive, because it's like, all right, boom, good. Like, that's a woman right there that I know is, you know, when shit hit the fan, yeah, you gotta get up, you gotta go do this. This is what gotta be done, and I don't know street type shit, but just, you know, real life, you know, this is what gotta be done, this is what we gotta do, you know, to make sure that we can make ends meet or whatever it is, you know, because at the end of the day, you know, like I said, I laid down, you know, had a daughter with her, you know, man, beautiful daughter, man. It's like hit me today, just kind of, you know, seeing her, you know, 6 months old. But it's just at the end of the day, like I've always said, like if I'm not here, like I'm traveling every single day, you know, a train could hit me, a car could hit me, a truck could hit me, you know, something can just kill me and that can be it. And at the end of the day, you know, would she know the next step? Would she know what to do next? And that's why I purposely took her through all of this process of buying a house, buying, you know, just out there looking, just everything I'm going through, credit cards, you know, understanding financial situations, how to know how to maneuver around the financial systems, you know, building credit, like focus on all that, because at the end of the day, it's like if I'm not here to do it for my daughter, I need her to do it. You know, like nobody taught me that. So it's like at the end of the day, it's like if nobody taught me, how is somebody gonna teach my daughter? Mm-hmm. So it's that same thing. Everything that's like been installed or more than me or that I've learned, once again, my motivation is not to hide the information. So when I, you know, anything that I learn, I like to, boom, break her off. Like, you know, we've gotten into arguments just because I'm so passionate about the moment I learn something. It's like, I need you to learn this right now. Like, you know, because our time is ticking every single day. And I'm not on no death wish or nothing, but you just don't know how long you're going to be here. I mean, people losing their life every single day. I mean, you know, just somebody at church the other day, you know, last week, Father's Day. He turned around and lost his life. He just passed away. You know, I mean, gone. So it's just like, he was just, you know, a Sunday before, he was just up there singing. Next Sunday, boom, 7 days later, he gone. Yeah. So it's that same kind of mentality where it's like, we take life for granted. And this is where I think females also take life for granted as well as males. But just kind of going back to your question, is the females are taking it for granted because it's like, well, I just want to sit back and I just want the man to take care of me. Mm-hmm. It's like, well, he needs help. He needs support as well. You know, whether that's emotionally, also financially, you know, because at the end of the day, like my cousin once told me, you know, when I left my job and I called her about, you know, them were asking me to come back. I called her and told her, you know, what do you think I should do? And she said, well, let me tell you like this. A man always looks better with a job. You know, and it made sense to me. It wasn't about how much, you know, you was gonna be making, but it was just a man always looks better with a job. He's doing something with his life versus a man that, can you imagine, right? Just think about it. If you couldn't just imagine, you know, if we were sitting here, you know, struggling, and you know, every time, you know, just like, I had all the time in the world to always be around. Like prior to before meeting me, now it's kind of a different situation, you know, scenario. You know, I still got to go to work and do everything I have to do, but you know, it's being able to be a little bit more flexible. You know, where I can, you know, try to make more events where you guys see me at, a little bit more events. But could you just imagine a person that just every single day I'm just up at your house, you know, just sitting there chilling. It's like, do you do anything? Like, do you even have money? Like, dude, what are you doing with your life? Mm-hmm. You just kind of be sitting there like, dude, you 26 years old and you don't got a job? You be looking like, that's not motivational at all. Like, you know, so it's kind of like that where it's just, I think that, you know, a lot of females need to come back to the reality. But once again, the problem with that, which is just speaking on my previous 2 podcasts, are how important it is for the father to be in the household. That's very important because they need, you know, once again, set the tone as far as, you know, once again, what should the female be looking for? At the end of the day, people have always said, you know, if you got a next question, we can move on after I say this one. But people always laughed at me and joked with me like, you know, oh, I feel sorry for when you have a kid, you know, in a playful way. Mm-hmm. But they were serious. I feel sorry when you have a kid. He or she gonna be in boot camp, and you know, this and that, just because my style, how I am. Mm-hmm. And they were like, oh, I feel sorry for the dude that she decides that she wants to date. And at first, I used to be like, yep, you know, that come around and what's up? Mm-hmm. You know, real simple. But as I guess I got older and my maturity was starting to sit in even more and my knowledge was sitting in even more, that response has changed. And my response to that now is, you know, when somebody says, oh, I feel sorry, you know, for, you know, your daughter's beautiful, she's pretty, I ain't worried about it. Because at the end of the day, if I do my job as her father, I got nothing to worry about. I got nothing to worry about. Teaching her the right man to find and to look for. You know, and at the end of the day, it come in all forms, shapes, and sizes, and colors. So at the end of the day, for me, it's just more so about installing to her what she should be looking for in a man. Which is nothing much more different than her own father. Mm-hmm. You know, there's things that I definitely want to take, want to take out, that I want to take out of some of the things that I do and some of the, the way I carry, a few different things. But one thing that I want her to always have is her strong attitude that she's already grown to have. I feel like that's you need it. You need to have that. You need to have that where people know you're not playing around. You're about business. You serious. You straightforward. You're goal driven. You're goal oriented. And I just feel like that's very something for her to have. And like I said, before, is I want her to be a strong, independent woman, but that can also understand how to love another man. That's definitely important, because no man out there wants a female, to be so strong to where it's like, well, damn, am I even a man? Where they start questioning themselves, like, damn, am I even a man? And no matter what people say, I mean, I don't question that as far as am I even a man? Hell no. But it's not about that. I mean, and my female, she's never really given me a reason for me to question, am I even a man? It wasn't really more so about that. But I feel like, as long as men do what they need to do, they don't really have to question themselves asking, are they really a man? Unless, I mean, like I said, if you following everything from the jump, if you following from when you first meet the person, like I said, my first 72 hours of talking to a new female, it's all getting to know you. It's all getting to know you. What's your plan? What's going on? I mean, you call it strict, you call it whatever, but at the end of the day, I'm only going to wait 72 hours because right now, however many hours I'm in now, 365 with, I done been through one leap year with her, president. I mean, it's 4 years, almost 5. So, 365, whatever times that, and then however much time that is, I'd rather spend 72 hours to figure out who the hell you are. And if you decide that you don't like that, that's fine. You can go and I'll move on to the next person. Yeah. But I think it's very important that, we take our first, 48, 72 hours to get to really know, who you dealing with. If you sliding your thing and within the first 24 hours, she just a night call and a booty call. Yeah. And don't think that she ain't gonna go do it with nobody else. Yeah. That's just simple. She's telling you right then and there. Ain't nothing gonna be different. Ain't nothing gonna change. And so as a man, you can't, as they say, we think with our dicks. Mm-hmm. You can't. You gotta think with your heart and your mind. Mm-hmm. It's real easy to, for it, to stick up and whatever, and but you really gotta think with your heart, your mind, and your soul, and really make sure that you're making the correct decision if you're really ready and mature to be with this person. And I really think that that's what it all boils down to. But, overall, it's just you're going to learn, as you continue to go from one relationship to another relationship. But all relationships are basically the same. Relationship with your mom, relationship with your dad, relationship with your sister, your cousin, nieces, nephews. You're going to learn something, from all of it. Just like, I mean, I love movies, man, like Tyler Perry, I mean, Why Did I Get Married? He sits there and as Angela, and they always arguing, bickering back and forth, but when they went to Janet Jackson, I can't think of her name on the movie, but when they went to Janet Jackson, she's like the marriage counsel. She's, they sitting there and she's like, all right, they go up there, we got man issues and all going crazy. And she goes and she says, all right, she's like, you gonna think I'm crazy with this, so I want you to do. You're gonna make a list. On one side, you're gonna write down all the goodies done. On the other side, you're gonna write down all the baddies done. Now, if the good outweighs the bad, then so be it. But if the bad outweighs the good, then you gotta figure out a solution. Mm-hmm. And that's the same thing in life. That's exactly how a job is. What's your action plan? Like, you gotta have an action plan. Something not working, you ain't hitting numbers, you're not hitting goals the company wants you to hit. So what's your action plan to fix that? So once again, all relationships, anything you working, it's relationship. All of it is all the same, but you gotta know that list. You gotta know all the good and all the bad. So that that's really what what that portion of it boils down to. And I know it's true. I got a friend who I've asked her one time. I said, out of everything we've been through, the way I talk to you, just everything, why do you still want to be my friend? And she paused and she said, you know what, tomorrow? She says, basically because your good outweighs your bad. What you come with, you have more good than your bad. And it made sense after she expressed and explained it. It made sense. I said, all right, you know. And so it's just true, you know. And but it also it boils down to maturity. Is the person mature enough to understand, you know, what they're getting themselves into, or what, you know, what are they going to go through?
Yeah. And for like a relationship to work out, you guys need to like communicate.
Oh, most definitely. Yeah. You know, if you heard a little bit what we was talking about, you know, just communication is the key. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, if just I mean, one little thing of not communicating could just ruin a lot. You know, it could ruin a lot, especially, you know, with the child, you know, just with everything. Like, you have to communicate. Like, the most simplest, silliest, stupidest things in the world that you may feel, it don't matter. You still want to communicate it. Like, I'll give you an example. You know, if I don't tell, you know, your sister, hey, I'm running 5 minutes late. Oh man, you know, it's like a, you know, picking up the phone, calling me, you know, I mean, just more so panicking, like, hey, are you okay? Yeah. Because of my drive, you know, everything. Mm-hmm. But just like, just simple things, you know, like, you know, you say you're gonna be here at this time, you know, but you didn't get here, you know, you got me worried, you know, etc.
Well, what you said like before, like, you didn't like say like, oh, you're cheating, because you guys already been together for like 4 years, so that's why like your bond, or I don't know what it's called, like whatever, like the connection, right. The connection you guys have, like, is strong. Yeah. So it's more about worrying. Yeah. Than like
what are you out there doing? Yeah. You know. Yeah.
You guys are already mature.
Yeah. So it's just really that, and it's just really like understanding your relationship, and you only going to be able to understand it once again through communication. You know, like a lot of it, people say like, oh, we do communicate. Communicating is not arguing. Mm. That's what people need to understand. Like, you know, you can be arguing 24/7. We out of the 4 years, oh man, man. But you know, you still have to try to oversee all the arguing and communicate, get the message across. You know,
y'all have to sit there and talk it out.
And talk it out versus, you know, yelling it out or fighting it out or spitting it out or whatever, you know, fucking it out, you know. I mean, that's what people love to do. Yeah. You know, and it's just like, that's not communicating. That's only fake. That's only patching it. I can tell you right now.
That's like going around the corner.
Yeah, I can tell you right now, you know, it's like literally, if you arguing, you already got in a big fight, and you trying to fuck it out, you basically smoking and drinking. You smoking and drinking off your problem. It's just a temporary fix.
And then later on,
it's still gonna be an issue. You gotta talk about that elephant that's in the room. If you don't talk about that elephant that's in the room, it's gonna always be there. Yeah. And now all of a sudden, you didn't build all these elephants, and now you got all this shit. And I mean, anybody that smelled the elephant shit, that shit stink. Yeah, I'm not even trying to be funny, but once again, it's just like, it's you filled up your room. You filled up your room. You know, so it's just like, just imagine. I mean, the little studio that we were in. If we didn't talk about the elephant that was in the room, we don't have enough space to have multiple elephants in the room. We was gonna be basically sleeping on that shit. Yeah. You know, literally. And that's literally like, when people get that perspective and understand that, when you don't talk about the elephant that's in the room and you just keep walking over that pile of shit that's in right there, elephants poop a lot of shit. Mm-hmm. And if you just gonna keep walking around it and you're gonna keep letting it pile up, it's gonna become a big problem. It's gonna become an environmental issue. And then that's when people start, oh, well, you know, it's just you didn't want to talk about, you didn't want to mature up and talk about the elephant that was in the room when you should have. And, you know, I feel like that was just, you know, I feel like that's a big problem. So, you know, it's just definitely that. I mean, like, so once again, just communication across the board is key. You know, just talking it out, talking over finances, like, even right now, as, you know, me being, you know, the sole provider for the family, I still talk to her about my finances. Like, you know, when me and my sisters talk, she asks, oh, does she know, you know, how much you make? I say, yeah. I mean, if somebody asked her, I mean, I don't know what she's going to say to them. Mm-hmm. But she knows the ideal ballpark. I don't hide it. I don't hide a bill. I don't hide my income. You know, I don't hide bank accounts. You know, I don't hide it. You know, I don't see what's the purpose. You know, at the end of the day, it's just like, I'm gonna leave this world one day, and I want to make sure that the money going to somebody. That's when people say, "Oh, you put in a trust," you know, all that. Yeah, I get that, but at the end of the day, if you if you want to be with this person and you love this person, I mean, why can't you just tell them the truth? At the end of the day, you with her, you had a kid with her, you married her, you fucked yourself over already. That's you. I mean, why you worry about the rest? Yeah. There's people say, "Oh, you put her name on the house?" Yeah. I put a baby in her.
Yeah.
So why not? I mean, at the end of the day, if she want to come after me, she already got a reason. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's already done. You want to come after me? I done got with you. I spent time with you. You didn't learn me. You want to come after me? Come take it.
Yeah.
That's just what it is at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people, you know, they go with these negative mindsets. When you sitting there talking about signing a prenup, I mean, I got another visitor that I'll have, and we can talk about the whole prenup situation because she loved asking me about that. But when you got to look at the person you with, and you got to talk about, and like I said, I do have a different perspective, but right now I'm gonna stick with this one, is you got to get your female to sign a prenup. Why are you with her? Why? I mean, I'm curious on why are you with her? You don't love her. Yeah. Cause you thinking about your money. Mm-hmm. And money ain't everything. Yeah. I hear a lot of people that, you know, on these things they say, if you went broke today, would you know how to make it back off? Yeah, most definitely. All right, so what you worried about then? Mm-hmm. So what you worried about?
Yeah. And also, I just want to say this real quick. Like, I'm not saying like relationships end because of money, but like that's like the main thing in a relationship. It's not a main thing, but it's like one of the main things. And because you need to survive off that.
And marriages and households. Yeah. Yes. Boyfriend, girlfriend, no. That shouldn't even be, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know. But in marriages and households. And what I mean by that is because, like I said, boyfriend, like clearly me and Mara are boyfriend and girlfriend. You know, not even fiance or, you know, or whatever the other word is. But yeah, the finances are a very important part of a relationship, most definitely. But you cannot make that. You cannot make that the head
of the relationship.
Correct.
It has to be like you guys connecting.
Correct.
Not yeah.
Correct. When you make your finances the head topic of your relationship, you know,
Nah.
All right, sorry about that, y'all. We had we thought we had some technical difficulties, but
yeah,
we're back just to kind of sum it up and you know finish it all. So we were talking about money as far as, you know, being a big problem inside of, you know, households and marriages.
Yeah.
Right. So, like I said, overall, I mean, it's definitely, you definitely need to have money once again to survive. You know,
I feel like money just makes problems, but
oh, it does. Like I'm a living testimony of that right now. The more money you make, more money, more problems, and you know, literally as a male who doesn't really get emotional a lot, mm-hmm. I found myself, you know, starting to get emotional over more money, more problems. You know, the more money you make, just the more issues that arise. And like, you know, when I quit my job, sold my vehicle, I had zero debt. I didn't have a car payment, nothing. The only thing I paid was my rent, which all utilities included, and my phone bill. Those are the only two things that I was responsible for.
You know, simple.
And that's when I was feeling my best. Like, that's when I was working out the Rose Bowl every day. I was riding my bike, you know. Oh, man, that was heaven right there.
Yeah.
You know, if that was literally like, you know, I enjoyed every day. I enjoyed every day. You know, just finding, you know, doing my little side hustle, you know, Uber Eats or whatever. You know, people are like, oh, how you gonna do that with a car? I was in a relationship, so we still had one car. You know, it just wasn't my responsibility to pay for it. But it is the more money you make, the more problems that is going to arise, and you know, that's kind of what's going on now. You know, I mean, over the course of time, just, you know, the more money, you know, owning a home, the more problems you got on your home. You know, I mean, I've had it several times. I've had 2 main pipes burst on me. You know, and it's just like, you can't just, hey, landlord, can you come fix it?
Yeah.
You know, it's literally like both times, you know, I have to shut off main valves. You know, my neighbor, you know, my guy Jerry, you know, always comes in clutch, but he was in the middle of eating, and I really appreciate him for that. But I mean, I was new here. I didn't know where my main line was. I didn't know how to shut off the water, and he helped me. You know, he told me what to do, and after just learning that, I was able. The second time on my way to work one morning, you know, I hear like water, and I'm like, the hell? I go outside, and it's like my whole garden just flooded. So I like had to start, you know, digging. Boom, pipe busted. You know, main line. So I finally found my water. You know, my water shut off the house, but I turned that off, and the water was still going. So I lost the main. So I had to go turn it off, and once again, I showed Mar how to turn it off, just in case any emergency. I'm not home one day. I mean, you can't just have a sprinkler head just busting, shooting out water. You need to know how to turn it off so we can go ahead and fix it. So you know, we did that. Later on, I proceeded to go to work, left work a little bit earlier, you know, so I can come home, shut it all off, you know, fix it so we can make sure we got water, you know, move forward. They didn't have water, you know, for a good 6 hours.
Yeah.
So it's like, boom, big problem there. But I mean, yeah, you know, it's just, but once again, you know, money don't also fix all the problems that you're going to go through your relationship. And that's why communication is key. So you can always know what your problem actually is, because sometimes it's not finances.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
People will label it as a finance issue in the relationship, but a lot of times that's not what the problem is. Maybe it's just less spending. Maybe more focus on the needs and not the wants. But once again, that's just a conversation for that individual, to those 2 people to have with each other. You know, when it gets to that point, you know, I was at a point where I was just like, man, buy whatever you want. I was like, F it, you know, I don't really care. Buy whatever you want. And it wasn't like the finances were there. It was just more so like, man, I don't want you wanting for nothing. Just get whatever you want. A lot of people say, well, that's a bad mentality to have. I mean, focus on your wallet and your wallet only. No focus on mine. I ask for no financial advice. You know, but, you know, overall, at the end of the day, you still have to know, you know, your limits. And I feel like that's what happens a lot of times, is people don't understand their limits and limitations, you know, or just the financial knowledge, you know, just understanding, you know, how to play that financial game, to how you're going to get over it, because everybody's struggling at the end of the day. You know, you're going to hear it a lot, like, oh, why don't you use somebody else's money to make your own money? Like, a lot of people still don't know what that means. You know, I mean, it's just, I could talk about that in a different, you know, when we talk about finances,
yeah,
or whatever. But I mean, as far as how it works for me, I'm not saying that it's going to work for everybody, but just how does that work for me, as far as there's people out there that want to give you money and you need to take and use it. You need to figure out how to make you more money. So, you know, I mean, like I said, I'm not sitting up here acting like I'm perfect. I'm not sitting up here acting like, you know, we just got it all. But there's one thing is that, you know, through these, as being young and as, you know, challenging and, you know, having, you know, once again, it's not that easy. You know, we always talk about, you know, not only just having Leia, but also having 3 dogs. I mean, it's all responsibility. And regardless what you say, regardless whether you say one cries and one don't, because you heard it today. I mean, dude is a yapper, you know. I mean, they talk, they bark, they got feelings, you know, everything, the whole 9. So, you know, once again, this is a 5-family household.
Yeah.
You know, and, well, no, 6-family household. You know, already a 6-family household. And it takes a lot of communication to get through everything, you know. And the less we communicate, the more arguments we're going to always have. Just because we're not talking to each other, or just showing appreciation to each other, and, you know, telling each other how each other feel. And I feel like that's really, you know, a big problem, is that, you know, everybody should, you know, be working on, you know, in their relationship, focusing on.
Yeah. I think that's all the questions I have for now. Till the next podcast. All right. If you invite me.
Oh, most definitely, man. We got to hit it again. You definitely had, you know, some great questions for me today, and, you know, I really appreciate that. Like I said, didn't know what you were gonna ask, but I'm always ready for any question, you know, anybody ever has. And just kind of, you know, once again, we'll talk, like I always tell y'all, once I warm up, you know, we're gonna get real deep and real down into it. You know, but I hope, you know, there was something that was said, you know, overall at the end of the day that can help you. You know, if you have, you know, struggling, if you're struggling in your relationship right now, you know, if you know somebody who's struggling in their relationship right now, you know, just need some relationship advice. I mean, just for free. I'm not saying no therapy. I ain't asking for, you know, no money or nothing. But at the end of the day, this is what I love to do, is to give that advice. You know, and I feel like a lot of time my advice is valid. If you feel like it's not valid, that's fine. You don't have to use the advice. But this is just, you know, what I feel overall at the end of the day. But, you know, we have a lot of relationships that struggle just because, you know, either scared to go ask for advice. So I'm here to tell you today, you know, no relationship is perfect. Nobody's perfect. You know, I mean, we got a lot of, you know, teenagers growing up in today's world, you know, lost. And, you know, it's for us. We need to be out there. We need to help them. And that's why I always said I'm glad, Alex, for you to always come through as, you know, being young. Just being young, but always wanting to have a vision and a goal, and always wanting to see, you know, how to get to that next stepping point in your life and your career. So I always appreciate that you always trust and believe in me to be able to help you get also to that point. I already know you go to other people as well, but like I've always told you, you're brother to me, and, you know, I'm always here for you. I told you that on your birthday. If there's anything you ever need, you know, always let me know, you know, financially, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically. You know, it doesn't matter. You know, that's what we're here for. So once again, thank you guys for tuning in to d.visionz. Make sure you drop a like on this video right here. If you definitely like what I have to say, drop a like. Just and any feedback, leave a comment in there. You know, any question, like I said, what you want our next podcast to be about. Even the comments that y'all leave is just, I don't even gotta have somebody here. I can just honestly just talk about it. You know, I kind of know how to generate that as well. But I'm gonna take like a few different questions that I have. So once again, y'all, don't be afraid. Do not be afraid to comment down below. Once again, like I said, this is not for, you know, a financial gain or anything of that. It's just, this is something that it's been on me to do. And I mean, I've had several people just ask me, you know, D, man, you gotta do it. You gotta do it. You gotta do it. And so, y'all, just, you know, just continue, like I said, continue to support your boy, and, you know, subscribe to this channel. But once again, y'all, this is King D, you know, d.visionz, and, you know, my motivation not to hide the information. So don't be afraid. Y'all have a blessed night. Peace.